So next up, as the judges are deliberating, we have some special guests here. And first and foremost, I want to introduce Marcel Scherer. He is the Deputy Director of the Nevada Department of Business and Industry. And from what I understand, Alexandria Rosen was going to be on board as well. She's the Senior Director of Venture Forward with GoDaddy. The Department of Business and Industry will be providing information and data regarding their business startup guide and roadmap. And then, of course, the folks from GoDaddy will be providing some useful data and statistics pertaining to rural Nevada and the rural United States. So with that, Mr. Scherer, we sure appreciate your help this year and all of your support during the course of this. And I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Sheldon. Can you hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? All righty. Well, my goodness, wow. What a group of young dreamers and successful entrepreneurs. We applaud them for pioneering new ideas. And of course, kudos to all the organizers, mainly you, Sheldon, Maggie, and all the entire team involved in putting this wonderful program together today to celebrate the importance of a small business in rural Nevada and also celebrating the entrepreneurial mindset. Along with all of you supporters and partners of today's business page competition and many other remarkable resource organizations, we are all in the business of basically business development and in the business of helping small business owners and entrepreneurs access resources and get the necessary support to prosper and grow. So keep in mind a couple of words today: resources and support. And on that note of helping find local, state, and federal resources, we have a simple click and point information product that can help you start, manage, and grow your business in the Silver State. And we call it the roadmap. If you think about it, these two words, roadmap, and you focus on the second one in terms of an acronym, MAP, you can turn it into M for meaningful, A for action, and P for plan. And that is how we believe you can turn your ideas into an executable business plan. So again, meaningful action plan. And that will allow you to focus on strategies to be able to make money. So this particular session right now showcases the roadmap. And Chris Wise, who happens to be part of the team here at the Department of Business and Industry, and also the person who put together this roadmap, will provide an overview of the roadmap by walking you through resources, tools, various business requirements, and how to access some of the specific help you need. And as you mentioned, Sheldon, then Alex Rosen will be joining us to really share useful micro data and statistics specific to rural Nevada. With that being said, Chris, take it away.
Thank you, Marcel. Can everybody see me? I can't see myself. Okay, which is not unusual. Thank you. And as Marcel indicated, one of the things we do in the director's office here at Business and Industry is we answer people's questions on if they're looking to start a small business or have started a small business and aren't really familiar with all the available resources. And to help in that help them along that journey, we've developed a startup guide. And what I want to do is start by showing you how to actually get to it, and then I will share my screen. And well, let me share my screen. I got to do. All right, here we go. Okay, so the way first to get to it, you open your browser, desktop or on a mobile phone, you type in business.nv.gov for government, and it will pull up our website. And we have a number of resources available here tied to the department, but what you'll be looking for is the Business Resource Hub. You can also access some things through this carousel of videos we have up front. But go to the Resource Hub and you'll see here, we have a number of items, access to capital directory, the roadmap, which is the guide Marcel referred to. We also have a one-page ecosystem chart that I recommend people take a look at. It's a very high-level overview of the resource ecosystem in Nevada, private, local, state, and federal resources that are available all on one page, very high level, but useful. Clicking on the roadmap, it'll take you to this page where we have a short video to orient you to the roadmap. To the right, you can click on the image to open up the guide, or you can go down, and what I recommend people do is download the document to their mobile phone or their desktop, and as long as you're connected to the internet, everything in it will work. Before I go to that and show you some of what's in it, I'd like to note that we do have two accessible versions of this for those who may be visually impaired. You can download Word versions in English and in Spanish that will take you through the entire guide, all the content that is in it, and, along with the hot links that will then take you to the websites and other information. We also have the roadmap in Spanish. Having done this, what I'll do now is I'm going to pull up the guide. And this is what it will look like. You can pull this up, click on it, it'll take you to the actual roadmap, which you'll see here is approximately about 15 topics. The top 4 are getting help, planning, training, and networking, are very useful for sort of those who are starting out and looking for individual help or resources to sort of organize themselves in starting a business, or if they've just started a business, to get some additional resources. To give you an idea of how the guide works, you can point and click as Marcel indicated, or if you prefer, you can scroll through it. I'm going to point and click because I like it, it's easier. Each topic has a number of resources that can take you directly to what you need. We get, as Marcel and as I noted when I started, we do get a lot of inquiries from people. Where do I get help? I need help with planning. I need help with developing a business plan, developing, I have questions on business structure, things of that nature. There are a large number of resources. Many of you may already be familiar with some of them, given your the pitch contestants and others that are we've heard from today. But for many that are just starting out, the guide is a great one-stop place to get access to a lot of information, a very high level overview of what you should be thinking about when you are looking to start a business, or you're in a business and you just don't know what's out there available to you in the state. So this is one example under Getting Help. We have links to the Small Business Administration. They have a great overview on 10 steps to start. We have links to SCORE's offices across Nevada. They have a great little startup roadmap site that I recommend people check out. We have Women's Business Center Services, Nevada Veterans Business Outreach Center. These are all tied to SBA. We have the Lieutenant Governor's Office of Small Business Advocacy for those who may be encountering issues with permits or licensing or other issues. Their function is sort of an ombudsman to help people expedite some of those things. And then we have links to our, and this link exists in a number of places in the guide, to a variety of networking groups across the state that you can see here, including all the chambers of commerce and a variety of special business support groups. So that's kind of what all of these do. Up top, we have a planning page that has links to lean startup information, some access to business templates via SCORE. there's this great concept of a business model canvas that is very helpful in getting people to organize their thoughts on what they should be thinking of when they start their business. And we have a couple of videos on that, as well as links to websites that allow you to develop a business model canvas for free. Under training, again, a lot of resources, links directly to training sites and calendars. Free classes are widely available through groups like the Women's Business Center, SBA in general. Very well worth your time if you need to get trained in, like, okay, how do I set up a website, things like that. Networking, I've already discussed in passing. We have a few topics here on things you should think about in terms of naming your business, structure, location. One of the big ones we get is a lot of people approach us a lot of questions on licensing. And obviously, to do business in the state of Nevada, you need to get a state business license. That's done through the Secretary of State's office, Silverflume. We have a link directly into Silverflume. But to help with orienting people to the licensing entities across the state, you may need a license in a county. There are some of the rural counties where you don't need a county business license, but you may need a local municipal license. We have it broken out by county. And so you come to this and you can click on any one of these counties here, and it will take you to a page that gives you a brief overview of the licensing issues in that state. It will give you a link for fictitious name forms, which is if you're going to do a business in any name other than your own, you have to file a fictitious firm name or a doing business as form with the county clerk. So we give a link to the respective county clerk sites there. These links on the icons, if you click on them, it'll take you directly to the business licensing page for that particular entity. So City of Elko County, Wendover, Carlin. Wells recently had they used to have a website. It's my last check, they were having some issues, but you can call, we have their number, you can call them directly. So you can do that with any of the counties. If Clark County, where I'm currently located, you can see all the entities. Up here we have the licensing, and then we have links to the econ development or community development groups, where sometimes they have information on incentive programs or other support services that they provide to businesses. So the map and the licensing function is really helpful in terms of figuring out who do you need to talk to, getting access to the documents, and then being able to file those. And then again, for the state, you go to Silverflume. So that's licensing. In addition, I'd like to highlight the fact that other licenses and permits do apply depending on certain business activities. There are professional licenses that are required. We have a section where you can go in and they're in alphabetical order. You can identify some of the things that you may need, depending on the profession. You may need to go through a board or commission to get additional approval to do that particular business activity. So we have that. We also have environmental permits. There are a number of business activities that will require you to be aware of, like if you're handling hazardous waste, or you may need an air permit. And we have that information for both Northern and Southern Nevada. What I generally, we tend to recommend for people is that they reach out to the Business Environmental Program up at UNR, which has a statewide focus and can provide a lot of information to people who are looking for, hey, I don't know what might apply. Who do I talk to? Call them first. They have fact sheets. You can click on this and get to their contact information pretty fast and reach out to them. And then lastly, there's public health. This you encounter obviously with a lot of food service activities, which are a prominent business activity in the state. So we have it broken out by the 4 health districts that are currently in place to handle the state. The most recent one is the Central Nevada Health District, which is still being stood up in the rural parts of the state. But for Washoe County, we have their information, Southern Nevada Health District, and the Carson City, which handles Carson and Douglas and some of those areas. So some state regulations and the business types, information there. You click on any of these, it takes you right to those pages. So again, keep that in mind, very helpful. We have some information on taxation. There are some great programs, what are the labor rules, things of that nature. We have links to all of those on this page. And then you can actually go, if you're interested in finding workers, the workforce development system in the state of Nevada has a number of incentive programs and other resources that can benefit small businesses. So we recommend people reach out and see if you're looking to hire employees or things of that nature. They're a great place to start. So we have that. Certifications and contracts, if you're looking to get involved in doing business for local, state, or federal government, there's a number of resources available to help you get certified. U.S. Small Business Administration has an online certification process. There's the Nevada Unified Certification Program, which all the transportation entities utilize. So we have links to all of that. If you've been in business 1 or 2 years, GoEd's Apex Accelerator, which used to be the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, has a lot of resources to help train you, get you organized, and prepared to compete for those types of government contracts. So we have all that under there. Funding's obviously for most businesses a big focus. We get a lot of questions on that, and we have a funding topic that has links to a number of available funding resources. We have our Access to Capital directory. Obviously, SBA is a big source of funding for folks. Battle-Born Growth, which is being coordinated out of the Governor's Office of Economic Development, a number of small micro lenders. So we have all that information here. We have some helpful hints about how you handle money in small business. We also have links to this other support, which is both can be financial, but also broader than that, as this pitch competition in Launch Rural Nevada is representative of work of Startup Nevada and some of these other accelerators, incubators, and the processes they have available to help businesses get prepped, get in better shape to compete and find funds and take their businesses to the next level. So we have links to all that here. Lastly, well, before I go into this one, because I want to end on that, we do have a section on common mistakes, or a few things people should think about.
The conference is about to end.
We also have a section on self-care, and so we recommend people check that out. But I'd like to end with markets and marketing. We have sections on data resources, number of resources out there if you're looking for information on your customer base, your particular geography and what's available, a number of resources there. We also have information on export import. Nevada has a couple of foreign trade zones and a number of resources through the federal government to help with that if you're planning to export your product. And so with that, I'd like to end on data resources and hand it back over to Marcel for the balance of this portion of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for your presentation. I was just with the people from GoDaddy, and they are just about ready to join us. So in the meantime, I don't know if there are any questions, clarification coming from the group related to our wonderful roadmap, which basically is all of you in that business support ecosystem. In a minute or so, Sheldon, GoDaddy, Alex Rosen from GoDaddy is going to be joining us.
Alex Rosen?
Yeah, Alex Rosen from GoDaddy. And she is with the group called the Venture Forward. And what they do is a research initiative that basically looks into the micro businesses. And GoDaddy basically defines micro businesses as presence online, number one, and a business that has less than 10 employees. That's the criteria for GoDaddy to define a micro business.
So, Miss Rosen, we're glad to have you here, but I will warn you that there's several children here who are just waiting for results. So we look forward to hearing what you have to say, but you may bump it up just a little bit because they're very antsy to find out who the winner is. So we're going to turn it over to you first, and then we'll be back for the youth competition results. So Miss Rosen, thanks for joining us from GoDaddy today.
Thank you so much. My apologies, had some technical difficulties, but wouldn't miss it and will be very expedient so we don't stand in the way of the actual exciting stuff. Let me go ahead and share my screen and share with you a little bit about micro businesses, what they are, why they're important to our economy, and why in rural Nevada, this is an important conversation. So 1 second, please. Here we go. All right. Okay, apologies for the day of technical difficulties, but we're going to power through. So we're going to talk macro impact of micro businesses, specifically rural Nevada. Why do we do this work? Why does GoDaddy do this work? Is because we all believe entrepreneurship is powerful, but without data, sometimes that can feel just like a very strong hunch. And so GoDaddy believes in as our mission to make opportunities more inclusive for all. Venture Forward, that the data I'm going to share with you today, is a research initiative born out of that belief to quantify the presence and impact of these micro businesses who have a unique domain and a website, and provide a unique view into the entrepreneurs behind them. Because we're there in those first moments when an idea starts feeling real, when someone, before sometimes they're even registered as a business, is putting their idea to a website. So we look at 3 things: where they are, how they impact economies, who they are, and what's top of mind. To date, we've looked at over 20 million micro businesses since 2018. That number is growing. What do I mean when I say micro business? They're small. So we look pretty much at those who have 10 or fewer employees. About 1 in 4 use it as a main source. So 1 in 4 use it as supplemental. About almost half have turned it from supplemental to main source, and 1 in 4 also currently have more than one business. So they need a lot of help. They're very busy. So when I say entrepreneurship is powerful, one of the ways it's powerful is because it affects the economy. This data I'm sharing with you right now has been used to help support things like the Right to Start Act in Nevada and in other programs where funds and initiatives are dedicated to these small entrepreneurs, these small businesses, because adding 1 micro business per 100 people in a county has been associated with an almost $500 increase in household median income gains for the county. It also, for every 1 of these micro business entrepreneurs, about 7 new jobs are created on a county level. That's because they're hiring directly, indirectly, or just bringing that money back into the community. The power of micro businesses is you have the flexibility to work from anywhere. Why does this matter in rural Nevada, for example, is because if you have a reliable internet connection, which apparently today I do not, you can get your business going and you could have flexibility with your time. And so we could see here that people are doing this, whether they're employed full-time by their business or outside of their business, whether they're working from home or not, they find time to get online and do something they're passionate about. Speaking of passion, it's exciting because you're able to make a life while making a living. It's the power of happiness. We want to support entrepreneurs because they're their own boss. They're working on their own terms. And a lot of them say, majority, that life is better as an entrepreneur. What we found is so how do we help them? Is that for most of them, it takes less than $5,000 to get started, over 2/3. And they use that for marketing, for equipment, for inventory, for their website, usually up front, and then it moves into more product development. So this is the kind of information we want to be sharing, because as you're, awarding winners, giving funds, like this is how those funds may be invested. This is the kind of help they need to be thriving and to be able to do what they want to do, which is what their business is about, not figuring out how to run it necessarily. Top challenges to starting tend to be marketing and access to financial capital. So just quick on what we're seeing is also, if you see here, micro businesses are everywhere. Rural areas, if we look since around when the pandemic started, Q2 2020, rural areas are the only ones that had double-digit growth, is really picking up in terms of micro businesses in rural areas, 14% increase. And rural areas are 60% of all counties. Now, if we look at Nevada specifically, Nevada has thriving entrepreneurship. I'm sure you all are excited about that and passionate about that. That's why we're here. Across Nevada's over 436,000 micro businesses, and that's up 5% in the last few years. There's about 18 micro businesses per 100 people. That's a lot. All this data is available for download on our website, godaddy.com/ventureforward. We update it every quarter. We want this data to be available so that as anyone who's supporting entrepreneurs, they can help make data-driven decisions to advocate for the entrepreneurs in the best way possible. Because when we truly see them, understand them, we know how important they are to the community, we know how to support them in a very specific way. So I'm going to stop there.
Well, Ms. Rosen, thank you very much for joining us. You're in Miami, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's a little warmer there than it is here. I can see the sun shining through your blinds, so just made me think of that. But we thank you very much for coming and sharing with us some of that data and information. And hopefully, if you're willing to share those slides with us, we'll definitely post it in association with our website so that folks can look into it in a little bit more detail. But we really appreciate you visiting with us today. So thank you very much.